And for the warming up to election, as we see from the very beginning, how different parties, different leaders have been on the street, not really campaigning, but trying to have access to outreach to people as much as possible. What does it mean, and what is the social implication of all this move? Right now we have Dr. Arnond Sakworawich from NIDA, who is the Ajahn from Graduate School of Applied Statistics from NIDA, joining us live right now. สวัสดีค่ะอาจารย์อานนท์ค่ะ
Thank you for joining us, Kun Arnond. We all know that Thailand has been torn apart politically, basically because of this so-called color-coded politics, right?
Yes.
Being divided into the
red shirt, yellow shirt, UDD.
In fact, this is a very important and crucial subject, but there have been hardly any real studies into this problem. So I'm glad to know that you finally, yourself and your colleagues have conducted a research on the root causes of this polarization of Thai politics.
Yes, we have a very strong and radical political polarization between two sides for so long, and it still exists even now. A very recent survey by Dr. Satithorn Thananitishod from King Prachadipok Institute, he has found that people still identify themselves as red shirt and yellow shirt, which is about 50% for each side, and about 70% say, oh, I'm not a neutral. But you know what, in fact, when people say they are politically neutral, they are actually not politically neutral. They just want to hide themselves that it's kind of what we call central tendency effect, that people don't want to express their true political opinion to a public. So among that,
so that's quite a big concern. Rather big concern. People hiding their feelings.
Well, because
but outwardly say I'm neutral.
When they vote, they will express something differently from when they answer to the poll, because you know they don't want people to know that how they really think. You know, I actually don't know, but like from those 70%, they may belongs to yellow shirts or red shirts. We actually don't know the answer yet. So, well, we can see in some kind of like swing voter or people kind of undecided now. So we will see.
So this coming election will be a place where the true intention, true meaning of this will come out, right?
Will truly exist and manifest itself.
So that means that after all this year, the colors have not faded.
Not faded at all, I think. You know, people like try to be like, well, maybe they just hide themselves, or they have been bored with know politics, kind of political apartheid, or those things. But it's still.
Can you tell us a little bit about the method that you use in the research? How to get information, get people to say yes or no, and to...
Well, that's a research. The most recent survey is conducted by Dr. Satithorn. It's not my own research, but I listened to his presentation in Brisbane, Australia. But I study very, very truly from the latest election that a political polarization still exists, especially we still kind of follow Professor Anek Lao Thamatat, a tale of two democracies theory, that you know people in rural and urban still have different kind of votings. You know, they try to vote to maximize their utilities. We study a vote from Election Commissioner of Thailand, and then we use what we call spatial data analysis, where we try to match votings into an area on a map, and then we analyze a data from a map. We also have, well, I was given a data set from King Prachadipok and National Statistical Office to ask for, you know, like a questionnaire by in-depth interview with people throughout a whole country from various households, like through probabilistic sampling, and then we analyze those things, and we still see, like we have like a bigger level of electorate or spatial data analysis, and we also do individual analysis, and both levels still clearly show political polarization throughout
of
our
yellow
country.
and shirt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yellow and red.
Yellow and red, and I mean, yellow may include a kind of blue shirt and a little bit of green shirt.
Different shades
Different
of
shades.
yellow
of
and
yellow.
red.
Yeah, we also have a kind of like pale red, a kind of pinky red, and then like
Yeah,
very
yeah.
Yes.
reddish, you know,
Yeah.
like shocking pink and, you know, like
So
dark red.
from the result of your research, how do you predict the behavior in voting this time? Would it implicate the same election, the previous election?
You know what we have found from the previous election, an election or voting behavior truly tied to an area. But what we call in academic, we call spatial correlation, such that, you know, votings in the area try to cluster, make a cluster, and you see like some parts of country are red, some parts of the country are blue, and those things go on. And what we have found of previous election can predict a latest election result very strongly, very accurately. And if that's the case, you know, an election that will come very soon may exhibit quite similar pattern, such that a party that still have a deep root in some area or in some province, they possibly gain or win an election again.
Okay.
You know, according to the research on the color-coded politics, I think there is one observation I think is very, very interesting. It says that why people in rural areas vote for certain politicians or parties, not because of the vote buying, but
Yes.
more the terms the research uses is because of the everyday politics
Yes.
and the patronage system.
Yes, right.
And that leads to what you just described earlier,
Right,
the
right.
so-called rural constitution.
Yeah, right.
So can you expand
I
on this?
actually do qualitative studies in the first red shirt village in Udon Thani province, very close to Wat Pa Ban Tan Temple. Yeah, that's the first red shirt village. I interviewed them right after a coup d'etat, and I just found that it's actually not vote buying. People are really stick to voting or election is not the right to vote, but it's the way to choose or express their power, to choose their power agent, so that they can gain some power over some kind of, you know, bureaucracy.
Hoping that they will get something in return.
They will get something in return, and they really enjoy those connection or you know, kind of crony that they can have some privilege to get into a hospital or they get their kids into school. Those things are everyday politics, and they have a very strong linking pin in the village. They even don't know who is their representatives, but they know that there are some political party members or, you know, Huo Kanan that ties them.
So they vote according to their Huo Kanan.
Yes, exactly.
Not the party.
Yes, right. And it's not a process of vote buying, but it's a process of like facilitating or shortcut a bureaucracy.
Patronage system,
Yeah, people really enjoy those things, and they're like, I want to vote for a party that I can call them to serve me. Easy as I want, you know. It's not the way to express their right, but it's the way to express their power. And I'm so shocked that, really, people want to express their power by choosing power agents so that they can get or shortcut bureaucracy.
So that's the result you got from the first village in Udon Thani
Yes,
province.
right.
What about in other area of red
it's
shirt?
interesting that I don't know much about another red shirt because I focus on only one province, but from Surat Thani, quite different story.
That's in the south of
In the
Thailand.
south,
That's another color.
another color. People like don't do anything for me. I can stand on my own. Like I want to fight on my own. People like from different region quite have very different paradigm of and philosophy. Like no, don't do anything. I want to stand on my own leg. Just do your duty.
So
Like,
it means mentally people are so
Mentally,
different from
probably,
region by region.
Yeah, that's what I have found.
And that could, in a way, explain why they are so divided by the colors.
Yeah, I think so, because a deep root of thoughts and philosophy are totally different. Those everyday lives politics you can find in the northern part and northeastern part of Thailand, but not in Bangkok or in the southern part. Yeah.
And to understand Thailand, the northeast region have the most populated, is
Well,
the most
highest
populated
population. Yeah, that's the main reason that why is a theory of two democracy by Ajahn Anek Lao Thamarat still hold true.
Yeah.
That's a reason.
Yeah,
But
you know, according to the research, when the media also seem to have played an important role in this polarization, because people of different colors tend to listen to media whose views conform with theirs, right?
I think right now a media polarization right now is less radical than it used to be compared to before coup d'etat. But still, and
you mean it's less murky than before?
Yeah, less
before
murky than before the crew, and but still, but at that time when I have a survey from the survey, I can clearly see that okay, those red shirts will listen to Blue Sky, you know, ASTV, and those yellow shirt. No, sorry, red shirt will Asia Update and another like Voice TV. We can clearly see those preference among people from different sides of political party. Like, we have like a kind of niche market for news and media for each political groups. But this kind of thing become less radical than it used to be.
So you mean social media help in terms of representation of different voices, different shades of people?
Well, you know, people even on a social media, people still go to different page of Facebook and Facebook page on website. Like people try to choose to, you know, expose to media that really confirm themselves. What we call is like kind of self-serving bias. They choose to watch a media that they want to see and confirm their beliefs and their identities. You know, those things. It's just very common nature of people that just want to hear what they do believe.
In the past, we used to believe that people in rural areas, had problem with access to information. But at this point, it's not longer a problem of lack of information.
Social media, like in a very rural
so they exercise their political rights, based on their judgment now.
Right.
Or based on what they believe to be the preference.
Right. Truly that,
And with having NCPO running the country for 4 years, does it make any change for people?
Well, I can't say it firmly right now because I don't go back to those villages, especially in Surat Thani and Udon Thani. I should, but not done yet. But there must be some change, but you can't change people's beliefs easily. You know, it's not easy to change people what they thought and believed for so long, and especially we have kind of polarization for so long, so that still exists. I don't know. I don't think they changed that much, but I have no evidence unless I go back to those villages.
Any recommendation coming out of your research? Because you see clear, strong polarization, especially among red groups, yellow groups. Any way to bridge those two groups?
Well, you know, when I go into those villages, I ask like, especially those UDD village or Richard village, I ask like, I ask like, what if Kun Suthep Thirk Suban walk into this village?
Yes.
And they say, no way, we're going to kick him out.
Oh, not even welcome.
Not even welcome. But that's 4 years ago. And then I ask like, but what if yellow shirt from Surat Thani, like villagers from Surat Thani, come to visit you? They say, it's okay, we all Thai.
So like at the people-to-people level,
at the people
they don't
level,
have any bad sentiment, bad feelings or what?
Right. And I asked, you know, when I get into them, they don't trust me. So I have to be kind of acquainted with them, kind of report them. So I don't know how to say. At first time, they think I'm a police, I'm like a spy, you know, they don't want to speak to me. So I finally speak to them. Oh, I actually interviewed with Pat in Chonburi, and I told them what Pat in Chonburi think about UDD. And then I told them that, oh, in Surat Thani, what do they say? And you know what? People in those red church village are really enjoy hearing what I'm talking to them.
In fact, they like to listen to
They like
one
to
another.
listen to, listen to what other people thought, and then, you know, now they start talking about their thoughts, and then they express their sincere idea and attitude. And I get a lot of data from a conversation just by telling a story from anywhere else, you know. So,
but to look in Thailand in perspective, what is the factor that divide people? Have you got? Does it come from political ideology or inequality, economic inequality?
Well, those disparity and inequalities truly exist in Thailand, and you know what kind of those red shirt leaders say, always start say like poor class, social class, inequality. It's always true, you know. To make our country to be less polarized, it's not just propaganda, but you have to develop country to lift up a whole country, to make, you know, to get rid of kind of corruption and red tape and bureaucracy that make people kind of power asymmetry, especially people in the rural. They say that they can't get access to those bureaucracy, those government agency. Like things of those ties are very necessary if you want to change or reduce political polarization in the long run. It's a must, not only propaganda. That would be not sustainable.
No, your finding is very helpful in giving us an insight into what the people really think, I mean, at this juncture. But do any of your findings be helpful in the sense that it would provide a framework or some ideas for future action that can be taken to deal with the problem?
Well,
I found one phrase in the research. Use the term intervention program.
Okay. Well,
is that something
the easiest intervention program say like, let Surat Thani villagers be friending with, you know, UDD in a wretched village in Udon Thani. And if they are friends, you know, when people are friends, even though we have totally different political side, but we still like, we're friends and we try to understand each other. But you know what happened right now, people try to flock together to those have a same attitude, and then a political polarization become even more severe. How people gets to know each other and be friends with, you know.
But you believe that, judging from what you have listened to them, you believe that they would be open to talking to each other despite their differences.
Yes, sure. Because, you know, we all Thai, but, you know, there's no chance for doing so. You know, people still flocks together, you know, like in the South, they like drink tea and talk about politics. And they have like very same idea. They even don't hear people from the Northeast, and as well as people in the Northeast don't hear them from the South, you know. We need a kind of a space that open for everyone, so that they will
maybe this could be a job for politicians to do, because the politicians are also partly responsible for this polarization.
I hope so. I hope so.
You are expert in data, intelligence data, analytic and big data. How do you see fake news would be influential in this election? Any sign, any signal of doing that?
Well, my recent research has found that Thai people not only vote for those they love, say like everybody have their own political ideology, like, oh, I love Pheu Thai, I love Prachathippat, but you know what? They may not vote for Pheu Thai as they love Pheu Thai. They will not vote for Democrat Party, even they love Democrat Party. they want to vote for those who will win. Like, okay, if I like you, okay, and I know that you will win, I will certainly vote for you.
Okay.
But I love you, but you have no chance to win.
Vote for the winner.
Yeah, I may switch to the winner. I will, so fake news and a poll can actually kind of lead something or manipulate an election result. Very clear from my research that, if you have kind of exit poll and say, oh, this party will win, you go, okay, I don't want to waste my vote. I want to be a winner. And a main reason that everybody wants to be a winner, because when you take side of a winner, you gain some kind of esteem and you enhance your identity. Moreover, you will, with a kind of a little hope that they will bring some kind of public policy that bring you back some benefits and those things. So all those fake news, like oh, someone will win, or like kind of destroy somebody's fame, can be serious things in an election. Oh, I'm quite agree with election commissioner of Thailand that they say like I can't remember exactly, like 2 weeks before election, no poll.
A week or 2 weeks before the election.
I'm not
You
sure.
think that's good?
You agree with
That's
that?
good.
You agree with that?
Well, from my research, clearly say that.
Okay.
Because people will, if a poll says this party will win, people will jump into and vote for them.
Yeah, lately it's quite striking with polling before election, as we can see from the US election or Brexit. Do you think it has done a lot or influential for people to have polling before election or referendum?
There's a problem with the polling in the US right now, because it's about mobile system and a phone system in the US, such that call in and call out for a mobile phone will be charged for both sides. So if I call you, I will be charged, and if you call me, I also has been charged from the mobile operator. So people with a mobile operator in the US are kind of younger generation, tends to be liberal and democratic. But all the poll in the US is actually conducted through a home phone, tends to be Republican and kind of older generation and more conservative.
But should we be aware of silent majority? Because if you see from Malaysia election, people don't want to tell what or who they would like to vote
as
for.
I said, like recent survey by Dr. Satithorn say, it's about 15% yellow shirt and then 15% red shirt, but majority is 70%. And from my research, those will win. Okay, I will jump into a winner. So 70% swing voter is there. That's how fake news comes.
Given the new rules and regulations concerning the election, do you think the polling this time around will be less or more accurate?
It tends to be harder because you have only one ballot, and then you have electorate for 350 and then 150 for party list. And also if you have enough electorate from a quota from your votes, then you will have 0 party list. So it's kind of 0 or none thing, and
it's new factor.
It's new factor that
it can make it harder
for pollster. Yes, obviously. And this time we have 250 senators who can vote for Prime Minister. So there's another factors that we don't know. We may get 500 and 250. We will get a government with minority vote. It can be, and will be very short life.
So what?
Short life cabinet with kind of minority vote.
I see. So there will be another transition after the election, right?
Or another turmoil.
Okay.
Any hint about first-time voters?
Well, a first-time voter, from a study from around the world, we have found that a younger generation tends to be more liberal. That's a very striking findings from all over the world. and those first-time voters are very young, and they tends to be more liberal. And a party that tends to be more liberal and show some kind of fashion and trend exhibit kind of indie and liberal trends will gain their votes. Maybe Thanathorn or
Future Forward
Party will get a vote. But get Pat or own it by education testing service in Thailand on the same day as election day.
They have decided to
move
it forward.
I don't know.
But do you think the younger voters are as divided politically as the older ones, especially those in the rural areas, or they don't really care that much about? I mean, what the other
I
side
have to
thinks?
reserve my comment here because, as I see in all demonstration, even red shirt or yellow shirts, you know what? People who join a demonstration everywhere are old people, especially old women. Very, very small proportion of younger generations.
So that means that the attitude among older people is more entrenched.
Well, because they live longer, they see more things, they experience more, and those make their life experience like make things more polarized. It's quite common, you know. Also, younger generations kind of pay no attention to politics because they care about themselves more than a whole country. Maybe I'm not true,
but they may have fun when posting some nasty, statements on the internet, but when it comes to real election,
they may not vote.
they would go out.
They not vote. I don't know. It could be.
With the song "This Is My Country" or "ประเทศกูมี" have you got any social implications of the debate or the division among Thai people?
Well, it's a big debate right now because some people like, oh, this is kind of, you know, make our country into, you know, a worse thing or, you know,
another round confrontation.
Kind of those things. For me, people think I'm conservative. I'm quite liberal. Say, well, it's their right to express their political idea. You know, it's just the way. But you have to be careful with what you express. You can be, you know, punished. You can be executed.
I agree with you. I think a lot of people are, blow this whole thing out of proportion. I think just one song shouldn't be allowed to grab a country into this kind of...
If nobody care, it will no longer popular. Just that.
Maybe Thai people have to learn to be more tolerant.
Yes, right. I agree. Especially those diversity, you know. But we have to be more tolerant on political diversity or political polarization so that, you know, we can live together peacefully.
Well, let's see.
So after you have done the research and that another research done by your colleagues, are you more optimistic?
Not really. I see the data and I think it's still a very hard job to harmonize a whole country. Surprisingly, political polarization trends truly growing in the whole world, in Malaysia, in Philippines, and elsewhere in Indonesia. I don't really know why, but I see those trends. Maybe Kun Thepchai, who foreign new anchorage for so long, may be able to answer these questions clearly than me.
All right, so hopefully your next research will come up with some solutions.
Okay, I hope so. I hope so.
Okay, thank you very much,
Thank you very
Arnond,
much
for joining us.
Thank you.
So that brings us to the end of our program, and right now it's time to say goodbye, and let's see the footage of Leicester City when they won Championship of Premier League in 2016, and that's all from three of us right now, and we'll see you again next Thursday. สวัสดีค่ะ
Thank you. สวัสดีครับ